Shri Gurubhyo Namah Hari Om. Om Sahanavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Saha Yankaravavahai Tejapinavdhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Next Dhāraṇā 59. nirvṛkṣagiribhittyādideśe dṛṣṭiṃ vinikṣipet vilīne mānase bhāve vṛttikṣīṇaḥ prajāyate. nirvṛkṣagiribhittyādideśe dṛṣṭiṃ vinikṣipet vilīne mānase bhāve vṛttikṣīṇaḥ prajāyate. Nirvṛkṣa, what he is trying to say here is place your mind, focus your mind in a place where there is no tree, mountain or walls. When the mind subsides slowly because of no object to grasp on, hold on to, then the thoughts also subside. Okay. Now, nirvṛkṣagiribhittyādi, a place where there is no wall, tree, mountain, etc. Like in front of a ocean. Now, this is a very tricky thing. We have to be very careful about this. Why? If you are going to sit in front of an ocean, you are not going to see the ocean as a water body. You are not going to see the focus on the waves. You are not going to focus on the foam which the waves produce. Nothing. You are just going to observe the void, the space, the big vast space. Or if you are going to just focus, look up and look up the sky, and you are going to focus on the sky, even there you should not focus on the clouds, because when you focus on the clouds, you are going to start imagining things in the forms of clouds. Then this dharana will not be practiced there. Okay, so what you need to see is a blank space, that's all. Okay, shunya, void, nothing else. So your mind should not hold on to anything. That is why this is alambana abhava bhavana, a bhavana where there is no alambana, there is no object of meditation. So if it is difficult for you to keep your eyes open and manage it, you can keep your eyes closed and do this also. That is why it is called as dṛṣṭi bhavana. There is a beautiful meaning. Dṛṣṭi bhavana. Dṛṣṭi means seeing. Bandhana means controlling. Controlling the seeing. Okay? Controlling the seeing. This is an important thing here. Okay. So now what happens is vilīne mānase bhāve. Bhāve means objects. When the mind is devoid of any objects, then what happens? Vṛttikṣīṇaḥ prajāyate. The thoughts also subside. The thoughts also become absent. Because mind is nothing but thought. So the thoughts also subside. See, the problem is mind is habituated for holding on to something, whether it's an object or a thought of past or future. Without that, it cannot stay. So when you are going to not feed your mind with any stray thoughts of an object or any idea, then the mind becomes devoid of thoughts, meaning the mind does not exist. Mind ceases to exist. That is the state of a bhairava. Okay. Now, here the dṛṣṭi is there, the drashta, the seer. The seer and the seeing is there. There is no object of a seeing. Okay. Now, next. Nirālambana bhavana. He calls this nirālambana bhavana, as though the previous meditation had a bhavana, object. The previous also didn't have any object. That is also nirālambana. But the difference is there was a seer, there is a seeing. Seeing and seer both existed there. Okay. Now here, ubhayorbhāvayorjñāne, that is a shambha upasana. See, without any object for meditation, you cannot hold your mind. A practitioner, a beginner cannot manage to declog the mind or relieve the mind of objects. It is very difficult. So this is a Shambha Upasana, not even Shakta. This is even superior than the Shakta Upasaka. Okay? Okay. So now next, Niralambana Bhavana. Niralambana Bhavana means mind without an object. Non-object meditation. Okay. Now here. ubhayorbhāvayorjñāne dhyātvā madhyaṃ samāśrayet yugapacca tyaktvā madhye tattvaṃ prakāśate ubhayorbhāvayorjñāne dhyātvā madhyaṃ samāśrayet yugapacca tyaktvā madhye tattvaṃ prakāśate ubhayorbhāvayorjñāne. In the two objects or two thoughts, we'll come to this. Remember this. In two objects or two thoughts, between them, between two objects and two thoughts, by giving up the two thoughts and two objects, hold on to the in-between state, then the tattva, the truth, manifests itself in that in-between state. Okay. Now, because any translation will be translating this as a ubhayorbhāvayorjñāne means between object and thoughts, knowledge, idea. No, this is a beautiful thing actually. That is why there is a progression, there is a gradation. Like in the previous state, we gave up the object, we held on to the knower and the knowing. Okay, here the knower, is left alone. The knowing and the object of knowledge, bhava is object of knowledge, that is kept, and jnana is the knowing, that is also kept. That is also kept. Kept means it is kept to be given up. See, bhavayorjñāne means bhava and jnana, object and knowledge. You accept it as object or any two things, two states. You accept it as a object and knowledge, or you accept it as a unmesha nimesha, closing your eyelids and opening your eyelids, or you can accept it as prana and apana. How can they all be same? We are not holding on to these two. We have to give them up instantly. Yugapacca, instantly, at that very moment. Not gradually, sequentially. Instantly when you give up, then what happens? Madhyam samāśrayet, dhyātvā, madhyam samāśrayet. Place your mind in the in-between. What is between the knower and the object of knowledge and the knowledge? The knower. The knower is one who connects the knowledge and the object of knowledge. So without the knower, they are useless. So focus your mind on the knower. Then what happens? In that knower, the truth manifests. Truth manifests as the knower. Madhye tattvaṃ prakāśate means in that in-between state, the truth manifests. Meaning, instead of holding on to the object and the knowledge, stick to the knower. Instead of holding on to the prana and apana, stick to the dṛṣṭā, the seer, the in-between state. Okay? Or in between the meditation and the meditated, stick to the meditator. So earlier you gave up the object, you held on to the knowing and the knower. Now you hold on to only the knower, giving up the object of knowledge and knowing. Okay. Now the third different kind of meditation, jaya akara bhavana. Jaya akara. Jaya means object of knowledge. Akara, form, bhavana, meditation of the form of the object of knowledge. By the name itself, we can understand. Earlier, it was a meditation on the object, on the seer. Now, meditation on the seen, on the object. Okay, so bhāve tyakte niruddhā naiva bhāvāntaraṃ vrajet tadā tanmadhyabhāvena vikasatyatibhāvanā. Bhāve tyakte. Normally they will be splitting it. It should not be split. Here it is a bhāve nyakte in yakta, not it ty ya. It is not ty. It is ny. Okay, bhāve nyakte. Or if you are going to accept it as ty, then just add both the words bhāve tyakte. When you split it, it will be bhāve atyakte. Okay, now we'll understand that later. Niruddhā chit naiva bhāvāntaraṃ vrajet tadā tanmadhyabhāvena vikasatyatibhāvanā. So when nyakte bhāve, when you focus your mind, or atyakte bhāve, when you don't give up your mind from the object without letting the mind to run towards another object. When you focus your mind on one object without letting the mind to run behind other objects, then in that in-between state, the bhavana, the truth manifests. See, earlier the in-between state was the knower. Here, the in-between state is the object of knowledge. That is the difference. Okay. Now, bhāve tyakte. See, without giving up, nyakte, or by placing your mind on what object, without giving up the object, by placing your mind on the bhava, the object. What kind of object? See, if I am going to talk about the pot, cloth, etc., objects of the world, then it is easy for you to focus on it. But we are talking about a Shakta Upaya. It is not that simple. We are going to let you meditate, focus on because we are not, we don't want the object that remains as a pot, cloth, etc., because you are not the pot. So we are going to let you meditate on the unseen, adrishta, that which is not seen before, the absolute, the truth, the attributed self, which is the one with 3 eyes, one with 4 hands, etc. Shiva and Bhairava in different forms, right? You have to meditate on that. Now, if you are going to focus your mind on that object, which is a Bhairava, in whatever form you want to meditate upon Bhairava, when you focus on that, then what happens? Tadā, and without letting your mind wander to different things, without your mind letting your mind to think about other objects, just stick to this Bhairava form, whichever Bhairava form you are meditating on, just stick to that. Then tanmadhyabhāvena, by sticking on to that form, then what happens? Vikasatyatibhāvanā, the manifestation of that self takes place. Now, here there is a quotation from Yoga Shastra somewhere. Dhyatrudhyāne parityajya kramadhyayika gocharam nivatadipavachittam samadhipityabhidiyate. Dhyatrudhyāne parityajya kramadhyayika gocharam nivatadipavachittam samadhipityabhidiyate. Now, Dhyatrudhyāne parityajya, giving up the dhyata, the knower, and the dhyana, the meditation. The meditator and the meditation, giving them up kramad, sequentially, in order, not yugapacca, instantly, in order, sequentially, slowly. Dhyayika gocharam, just staying put on the object of meditation. Nivatadipavachittam, the mind should be staying on the object of meditation like a lamp placed in where there is no wind. Placed in a lamp kept in a place where there is no wind. So it's it doesn't flicker. So your mind should not flicker. Your mind should be fixed on that object of meditation. Then that is what is called a samadhi. See, in the first, you gave up the object of knowledge. You stuck to the knower and the knowing. In the second, you gave up the knowing and the object of knowledge. You just stuck to the knower. In this, you stick to the object of knowledge by giving up the knower and the knowing. This is the difference. First, you gave only one. Second, you gave both. Knower and knowing and the object of knowledge. Here, stick to the knower. Give up the stick to the knowing. Give up the knower and the knowing. Okay, stick to the object of knowledge. I mean, so dhyaya. So in the first, the dhyana was given up. In the second, dhyana and the dhyaya, it was dhyana and dhyaya was given up. Here, dhyata and dhyaya is given up, or dhyata and dhyana is given up. Okay, that's the difference. Now, this is also a Shakta Upaya. Now, in tattvaṃ prakāśate, in the previous shloka, he said tattvaṃ prakāśate, tattva. What does tattva mean, sir? There, the Bhattananji, he brings in, he says, tattvaṃ, that's what was explained in Tattvamasi. He brings in coolly that we are talking about Tattvamasi idea of Veda. But you have to understand, tattvaṃ is giving the identity between that and this, that and you. You are that, giving the identity between that. Now here in this yoga meditation kind of thing, there is only the knower of the object of knowing, object of knowledge. Okay, either only the dhyata, the jnata remains, or the jnaya, the dhyaya remains. Either the tat or tvam. There is no identity between the tat and tvam. So this is not tattvaṃ. But if you are going to look at from the Shaiva Siddhanta point of view, then we will say, what is the difference? Big difference. No, there is no difference here. Why? Tattvaṃ, tattvaṃ, you are that. There is difference, of course. No, there is no difference. How can you say there is no difference? Simple, let me explain. What is tattva? Bhairava. And what is tvam? Bhairava. Whether you fix on the that or this does not really matter. It's both Bhairava. So, the only Bhairava remains. There is non-duality, right? So, that is how we can explain this in the form of tattvaṃ, but not the tattvaṃ of Vedanta. Okay? You'll understand. Om Purnamadaḥ Purnamidam Purnāt Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.